The next 2 years signal a period of vast transformational change. It's what I call the era of the Transformers. Who are these Transformers? Well, believe it or not, they're post-millennials. They're actually the early 20s, born between the years 1991 to 1994. If you have an early 20-something in your life, you're probably very familiar with some of these traits. Staying medicated and intoxicated can help them better relate or associate with people around them, or just zone out so they don't have to deal with their inability to associate with the current reality. But they are brilliant when they want to be. They can almost channel higher consciousness and ideas of the collective repository of mankind's experience. These kids seem to have a sense of entitlement that their parents and grandparents are astonished by. They are definitely dissatisfied with the way things are. They have a strong sense of social justice. About half of them do. The other half are too permeable to negative energy. So it's a very interesting makeup and set of characteristics. What is the cause for their unique traits? Well, like everything else in the universe, it can all be accounted for by their planetary energies. The 3 planetary energies that will be affecting these Transformers over the next 2 years are 3 generational planets: Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. The combined energy of these 3 planets is literally vast, transformational change. And on March 8th of this year, we reach the critical mass of that vast transformational change for this age group, impacting all of us. One of the first causes is the fact that this age group has Neptune and Uranus in a conjunction in the sign of Capricorn. This is 2 higher mind energies together, merged in a way that is very difficult for most people to manage. This can occur in a transit, a short-term event, but for this age group, this is a lifelong natal aspect, and it causes them to have difficulty dealing with all of the mental activity that is going on. When these 2 planets are conjunct, their energies are merged. Their subconscious mind and the mind of imagination and shared reality is conjunct their mind of revelation, freedom, and equality. Uranus rules change, shock and awe, out-of-the-box thinking. And in the present reality of the baby boomers, their deep subconscious thoughts are too shocking and bizarre to share right now. So they stay in their Neptune mind and try to squelch their Uranus ideas through drugs, alcohol, or sex. Actually, their parents and teachers have tended to squelch them with ADHD drugs in school. An example of this planetary alignment in the natal chart of one of the Transformers born March 8th, 1992. There you can see their natal Uranus and their natal Neptune are conjunct 1 degree off, 17-12 minutes, 18 degrees, 28 minutes, within 1 degree orb in the sign of Capricorn. This is their challenge. Capricorn is the sign where their natal Uranus and Neptune are posited. This shows where the impact of the planetary energies will occur. Capricorn rules public or father-like authority. Authority is defined as the power to influence or command thought, opinion, or behavior. The question is, who will command who? This age group gets revelations that somehow seems to free them when authorities try to restrict them. They want a universal style of government and freedom for all. Their ideal is to create a public structure, Capricorn, that allows for all ideas and lifestyles, Uranus and Neptune. Since all conscious thought is relative, let's look at Neptune in Capricorn in relationship to Neptune in Libra, the generation of the baby boomers, which has various different age ranges if you look it up online, but most accurately it should be determined by the placement of Neptune, as Neptune shows a generation's collective ideal reality. So I've chosen 1943 to 1956 when Neptune was in the sign of Libra. Neptune in Libra is in the sign of relationships, close friends, business partnerships. It's about balance, as in the scales that represents the sign of Libra. Refined communication and exchange, and it's very diplomatic. This generation was all about the social consensus. Everyone should marry once for life, go to work for governments, banks, and corporations in exchange for retirement, health care, and not to be a burden to their children. This generation Just contrast the two groups for yourself. You can see that these guys would have been a forced, planned event to get together to take a photo. And these guys operate like a flash mob. No planning, impromptu, everybody on the scene, ready with a smile for the camera. When things get past their cosmic expiration date, like the baby boomers' ideal, Pluto serves as the cosmic wrecking ball. In 2008, Pluto entered Capricorn, and he began to square the baby boomers' Neptune in Libra, destroying their Neptune ideal or dream of what their reality would be. Pluto in Capricorn is showing us the shadow side of Capricorn power. Those in power are misusing it, plain and simple, in a myriad of ways. But to each individual, Pluto's misuse of authority is really the friction we need in order to regain our personal sovereignty. As Pluto transits Capricorn, he has been showing us what needs transforming, so that when he destroys it, we are ready to rebuild it. Pluto's orbit is 248 years, and the last time he was about to leave the sign of Capricorn, we had the American Revolution. As Pluto conjuncts Uranus and Neptune of the Transformers, he will transform their ideal reality or collective dream and have them seeking personal freedom or government entitlement or both. This is where Pluto is transiting today, outside of the natal chart of this person, remember, born March 8th, 1992, right here about midway through the sign of Capricorn. But the entire time Pluto has been in Capricorn, he has been square to the baby boomers' Neptune, destroying their ideal relation. Where Pluto destroys, Uranus awakens. So to help us all individually navigate Pluto's transformation, we have had Uranus transiting Aries since March 2011. Uranus is considered the great awakener, and he's in the sign of the self and our personal motivation. Uranian flashes of revelation literally into the crown chakra, because Aries rules the head, or the third eye, has kept us all moving towards freedom as we watch our Capricornian systems collapse in order to be reformed or transformed. So whereas Pluto is the cosmic wrecking ball, Uranus is the great awakener. So here's what the double whammy of Uranus up here transiting in Aries, square the Uranus and Neptune of the Transformers and opposing the Neptune of the baby boomers, as well as Pluto transiting over here, conjuncting the Uranus and Neptune of the Transformers and squaring the Neptune of the baby boomers, is doing. Pluto has been destroying the baby boomers' ideal reality, while Uranus has been giving them awareness of how to change and shift up their reality. Here they wanted ideal relationships, but Uranus has them actually divorcing at a rapid rate, something that would have been too difficult to conceive a few years ago. And Pluto over here, conjuncting the Neptune of their grandkids, means that they're coming to realize that their grandchildren are not going to fulfill their dream of retirement, of getting a job to pay for their pensions and that sort of thing. And over here, Pluto, with the help of Uranus squaring the Transformers to Uranus and Neptune conjunction here, is literally the vast transformational change of our public structures and our public authority. So those born from 1989 to 1995 all have their Uranus and Neptune in the sign of Capricorn. However, as we get into late 1991 into 1994, their Uranus and Neptune are considered conjunct, which merges their energies. So as Pluto has been transiting Capricorn since 2008, it has been conjuncting the Uranus and Neptunes of this entire age group, most 20-somethings today. And when Pluto conjuncts their Uranus, it creates what I call the X-Men aspect. They have an increased physical or mental ability, almost like Wolverine's pack. Some have gone on to invent various different things, which is Uranus, inventive, revelatory ideas, and some have gone on to perform amazing physical feats. I know one young man who had this aspect exact on the first pass. He fell off a barn 35 feet, got up and walked away. Now, when Pluto conjuncts their Neptune, it is literally the transformation of their ideals or their dreams or their ideal reality. Destroy their existing dreams and create a new dream. So there's a very powerful aspect that is literally, remember, the vast transformational change when these three planets are conjunct.